PR Connections Radio presents.
I guess you can be very successful without one, and probably some people do. But I would not have accomplished anywhere near what I have accomplished without a mentor. I have had a number of mentors, and my whole life has changed dramatically. I went from going nowhere to having a business that operates all over the world. If you want to win in a big way, you want to get a mentor. It's almost like getting a direct pipeline from their mind to your mind, where you're gaining all their wisdom, all their experience, and all the studying that they've done over a number of years. And like that, you get it all in a short period of time. Are mentors important? Well, I'm going to tell you, mentors literally changed the course of my life. Let's take a look at what thinking into results is and what it could do for you, how it came about. You see, my life had changed dramatically. I went from earning nothing to earning over $1 million a year. And I was sitting one day and I was thinking, how did all this happen? Do you know, I was reading Think and Grow Rich. I was studying Earl Nightingale's material. But a lot of people have read those books and studied Earl's material. And they weren't accomplishing what I was accomplishing. So I had to ask myself, what am I doing so different? You see, I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you've got to be really smart. I was earning over $1 million a year, and I didn't think I was that bright. I was also raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't win. Well, I hadn't gone to school. I went to high school for about 2 months. I didn't have a good job. I owned the entire company. If you want to be happy, healthy, and prosperous, it's all here. Thinking into results is going to show you how to get it. If what I've said really triggered something in your mind and you're thinking maybe, contact the certified PGI consultant. Hit the button, leave the information. Do yourself a favor. Sit down and talk to them about what this program can do for you. This very well could be the decision that will change the rest of your life.
Thank you, Bob. Welcome to our weekly podcast of Thinking in Results. And today, we'll be talking about the Secret Genie, or I call it the stick person. I'm Sid Maestre. I'm a certified consultant with Proctor Gallagher Institute and the Thinking in the Results program. And my motto is, if you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. And we're going to talk about that today. Thinking in the Results is our program. I could say it's real simple. Change your thinking, change your results. Not as easy as it is to say, but we're going to show you some tools that will help you change your thinking. And I'm going to call the stick person. And this goes back to 1934, when a doctor in San Antonio, Texas, Dr. Thurman Fleet, realized that we were addressing the causes, and no one had seen the mind. So he came up with this little picture where we've got the top half is our conscious mind, the thinking mind. Below that's the subconscious, and that's the emotional mind. And across the top there, we've got the being able to see. What do we do? Oh. See, hear, smell, taste, and touch, the five senses. And basically humans respond, reacting to the five senses, everything that's coming into their minds. And we're going to teach you how to be thinking in your mind and responding to what's outside, creating your own world. And today, my favorite guest, John Gage, who's a trained voice actor and a longtime student of Thinking in Results. Good afternoon, John. How are you doing?
Sid. So, hold that back up again.
Yeah, I think you had a few thoughts about this.
I think that's proof that we're aliens. Because see all the little antenna receptors that we have.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's. I mean, I don't know. It's just an interesting thought when I saw that. We have all those receptors and all the conscious, and all jokes aside, the conscious mind is like our gatekeeper for the subconscious mind. Like when you go into a doctor's office and say, well, I want to see the doctor right now, and the secretary says, no, I can't do that. Let me find out if I can do that. So they kind of block and mediate what gets through. And that's what the subconscious mind needs, is for the conscious mind to block the negative from getting in and keep out all the wrong emotions. Because if you want to change your paradigm, you got to change how that subconscious is thinking, because it's like a 3-year-old child. It only understands its reality is just what's there. So what's there, it doesn't understand that even though I say I'm a voice actor, it knows I'm a voice actor. And since I don't actually have that happening, it starts seeking it out so that reality it's feeling is there. Is that a pretty good explanation of how that works?
Yes, I had another thought where we talk about the conscious mind can make a decision on what's coming in,
right?
And it can be the gatekeeper. It can block the negative thoughts, negative activities, and if you don't, we could say block it, but don't let it into our subconscious. We can consciously reject it, but if we don't consciously reject it, it's going into the subconscious. And the subconscious, whether it's real or not, whatever information comes in, it accepts it as real. And that's where we want to teach you to identify what's not working, what your thoughts are that are not working. And that's part of your programming or the paradigm. And you want to replace it. When I say replace it, it actually doesn't replace it. We could say we're replacing it, but what's in there right now, the negative, will still be in there. It'll just be diminished. But every once in a while, it'll pop up. And what you'll be learning with thinking and results, you'll recognize and be able to counter that. And I want to say with positive affirmations. I was going to throw this back to you. We talked earlier yesterday about vibrations, and that our body is, we live in an ocean of motion. Everything in the universe vibrates on different frequency. And John shared a little thing about vibration into our mind and body.
Well, vibrations are like a ripple. And a ripple in water starts in one area. You drop a pebble in and the ripples slowly go out, and they slowly get bigger, and they slowly start consuming or incorporating is probably a better word. All of the surface area that's out there. Eventually it covers all the surface area, but it has to start in a central location. And the best way to get your vibration out is to start with you. You have to intentionally put out good vibes. And we as humans have a tendency to let the bad vibes come in. I mean, I think we were talking earlier, because this is what happens when you start allowing bad things in. So you get up in the morning, you stub your toe. And you're a little irritated about that, but you take a shower, you get ready to go to work. You stop to get fuel, and you open your door. And because you're slightly frustrated, you're not really paying as much attention as you should be, and you hit that little cement little cement blocker that's there by the gas pump, and you dent your door a little bit. Now you're even a little more frustrated. And maybe you spill a little fuel as you're pumping your gas, which frustrates you a little more because now you smell like fuel because you got some on your shoe. And you get to work and you're not paying attention where you're walking because you're a little frustrated because you stubbed your toe and dented your door and you smell like gasoline. And then you knock the water cooler over and you now got water all over your boss's new carpet. So it's like one of those things. That's the ripple effect. And it works for positive things too, because you could get up and you could stub your toe and you could go, you know what, it's only going to last for a minute. I'm in a great mood. And then you decide, okay, I'm going to be in a great mood. You get up, you talk to your wife and you give her a little kiss and you say, honey, I love you. It's a wonderful day. And you go on, you go to the gas station and you go, oh, I'm a little too close to the cement blocker, and you pull a little bit forward so you don't do that. You're a little more cautious about the fuel, and your day goes better, and your boss gives you a raise, and now you're CEO of the company. I mean, but it's that kind of effect.
John, as you were talking, there's an expression we all grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
When something's not going well, the expression we grew up with was just shake it off.
Right.
Just that little thought, to just shake it off and keep going.
Right.
And not let these little things bother you, because you have control of your mind and just what we're talking about. Also reminded me, remember count to 10?
Right. Yeah.
If something that normally is what you're talking about, and responding to something you're unhappy about, instead of striking out at somebody, you count to 10, kind of calm down, and use your thinking mind to deal with it.
That.
I'm sorry?
My mom used to make me do that.
Because it puts you into your thinking mind when you pause, counting to 10. Because before, the automatic response was coming from your subconscious, your paradigm.
Right.
But the conscious mind has control. And one of Bob Proctor's comments was that people just don't like to think. Thinking is one of the hardest things we do.
Right. Well,
and Bob says only 5% of the people, maybe it's 5% are thinking, and there might be 20% that think they're thinking, and the rest of them would die before they would think, because it's an effort. It's a mental effort.
It is. But it also is what makes life worth living too, because thinking allows you to figure out what maybe your next step is, how to get to your goals, and we can't really not think. We can just not. Basically, what you described is the difference between reacting and responding. When we don't stop to think, because I think that's what you're talking about. Everybody thinks, you can't help but to think, but we don't stop to think before we respond to something. So that's the difference between reacting and responding. We see a lot of reacting today. Well, oh my gosh, so this happened, and all these bad things happened, where somebody who responds goes, okay, let me clear my head really quick, because that's what I do in a situation. And that's because I was taught to count to 10. I'm like, okay, if it's something bad, it's like, okay, is everybody okay? Let's start there. So you come up with so that's the difference between responding and reacting. I got in a car accident one time, and my car was totaled. The car next to me was totaled. The car that hit both of us was totaled. and another car was totaled. I get out of my car. I've got all my grandkids in the car. I'm the only one that's calm. The lady that's sitting next to me, she's freaking out. Oh my God, I told my car was a brand new car. And she's just going off. I said, well, first off, are you okay? Well, yes. I said, are you okay? The person in the back. Yes. So everybody in the car is okay. Yes. Okay. So any injuries? No. Great. Well, this is a brand new car. Okay. I understand that, but it's just a thing. You're a human being. Your life is more important to me than your car. Your car is capable of being replaced. You are not. And it calmed her completely down, and she started thinking clearer. And it was just taking the time, which is just a few more seconds, to not react, but to respond to the situation with a much more positive atmosphere. I mean, I make a point at work when I send emails and I send text messages and not to send anything rude. I just refuse to do it, even if it means rewriting it 7 or 8 times. Because I want to remain positive, because that's how I get through my day. And that does require more effort, as you were saying.
Yeah. As you were talking, it took me back to Viktor Frankl. Dr. Viktor Frankl was a wrote a book, A Man's Search for Meaning, and he had been a prisoner. He survived the concentration camp, and the essence of his book is no one can make you think what you don't want to think. The one thing that we always have control of is our minds.
Right.
I think you were, which leads me into one of your favorite sayings about if you think you can.
Yeah.
Tell me about that one.
Yeah, you can if you think you can. So if you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're right. Because you think you can and you think you can't. And that light beam is weird coming through there. The winter light is funky. Coming through my window here in Florida.
Here's something else that we talk about, and we think in pictures.
Yes.
And I didn't know that. I was an adult for a long time as an adult, and I thought I couldn't do visualization. I thought that was making an effort, and I didn't know how to do that. And all along, all my thoughts were in pictures that were automatic. And I think, John, you had some thoughts about the pictures.
That's one of the things that really kind of stuck with me, because I was like you, I didn't think, well, we don't think of pictures. But when he said that, I couldn't get the picture of me thinking in pictures out of my mind. So, but we do. When I ask somebody, tell me about, your favorite car. You got 2 or 3 cars, but what's your favorite car? Oh, well, my favorite car is my Camaro 69 Super Sport that's got a 411 Posit tractor in with a 400 big block motor in it, and they're seeing all of it, and they're describing it in a manner that now you can see it because they're excited about it. It's like J.R. Tolkien that wrote The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. You know that if he was so vivid in his writing that when he would say there was a flower on the hill, he would not only talk about, there's a flower on the hill. There's a yellow flower with black seeds and a green stem that's 10 inches, so he would give you something much more vivid. So when you're reading the story, you could see the pictures and you felt like there was an emotional connection to the book for that reason. because he gave us this vivid picture of it, so this is why we need to realize that we think in pictures, and we need to do these things in pictures, because pictures give you an emotional connection to whatever it is you want to accomplish. So you all you have to do is think about it, and in time it will come to you. When I talk about being a voice actor, I picture myself sitting in my booth with a microphone in front of me, doing whatever silly character I may be doing, or reading whatever book I may be reading, and recording it in that booth. And then the whole time I got another computer screen over here with money filling up. You know what I mean? So I do see all of that in that fashion. That's why I'm really, really vivid with my goals, because it makes it easier to picture. The more, and in Think and Grow Rich, that was one of the things that Napoleon Hill said. You need to be able to picture this. You need to be as concise as possible.
John, when you said that, you're thinking, reminded me of a key thing in our program is writing out your goals. And writing out your goals, their plans, and reading this statement, I like to say in front of the mirror twice a day, and do it with enthusiasm. I like to say with enthusiasm, passion. Actually, I use it, passion and unbridled enthusiasm. And I can hardly say that. Unbridled makes me think of a young colt running across a meadow. But the more time, the more frequency that we have of thinking about our goal and visualizing it, it's the picture, I like to say, gets sharper and sharper and more detail. And that is affecting your emotions in your subconscious, giving out more of, let's say, a stronger vibration to attract more of what you're thinking about. And I had another thought that I just, yes, this is so simple. We created the word feelings in our conscious mind, the way we talk about what are your feelings. But the feelings are our conscious mind's word for the emotions. And everything has an emotion. And when you've got the bad stuff happening and the negative emotions, as you were talking about that earlier, that's what thinking in results is all about. You can't fix something that you know is broken. Well, you got something broken in your mind. The negative thoughts and negative emotions that are keeping you from having what you want, doing what you want, going wherever you want. We have full control. And another favorite saying of yours, John, for the very successful people, the commonality in thinking in results, not think and grow rich. I still get tongue-tied, but Napoleon Hill, the story was he interviewed 500 people, successful people in all fields, and put it together into a book, Think and Grow Rich. And no one had all the 12 characteristics, things they were doing. But the one thing everybody had, they thought about their goal all day long.
All day long, yeah. And they became what they thought about. I mean, it's like whether throughout history, whether they were good or bad people, they became what they thought about. Alexander the Great wanted to conquer the world. So he did. Then I don't know. I can't think of it, but I had somebody else in mind and I just totally lost it. It's, my antenna broke. But you get think of Michelangelo. Look at the great artwork he did. And that was a very positive thing. And that was something he put his mind to and wanted to accomplish it. It was a goal that they wanted, but ultimately he wanted it. And he was originally a sculptor, not a painter.
Mentioning Michelangelo, his statue of David, someone was questioning or just amazed at what he had done. And he said it was quite simple. David was in there the whole time. I just had to chip away at what wasn't David.
Right.
But a second ago, when I mentioned that the successful people are thinking about it all day long, and I'm thinking, when I first heard that, well, how do they get anything done? And I was, no, they're focused on what they're doing, but their subconscious knows what you want, and that's part of them. And that's, I want to say, the vibration of just that thought in your subconscious is bringing, I want to say, ideas, people. In fact, I've done this before, and I know we're winding down here, but I have a couple paragraphs on commitment. Until one is committed, there's hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there's one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and plans. And that is that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man would have dreamt would have come his way. And I've had this for years. Sent it to people, read it, and I didn't understand when it said the ignorance of which kills countless ideas. And if you don't know that all kinds of help is going to come, and you have a something doesn't work or a obstacle to overcome, and you quit too soon. And we'd like to say you have a big goal and you're going after it, you're having some problems with it, but as long as you don't quit, you're successful because you're moving towards it.
And you won't fail.
I see our time. We're running down the last couple of minutes. I want to just give a shout out to the website to learn more about thinking and results. And there it is. So go to sidmaestre.thinkingandresults. You get to see Bob's full video and the background of the creation of Thinking and Results. There's over 75 years of research and experience putting that together. And you can contact me. If you have a question, you want to know more about Thinking and Results, then you can schedule a time and we'll answer your questions. And if you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. And John, I'd like to thank you today for being on this show.
My pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. And I want to thank all of you out there for taking a look at what we're doing. We do it every week, and they're archived on prconnections.com. prconnections.com is where all the podcasts are created, and going to their site, prconnections.com, you can see some of the past videos, past podcasts. So next week, we're going to talk about the heart and soul of thinking and results will be our lesson. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you for being here. And thank you, John. And as they say, have a nice day. It's been fun. Hope it was fun for you too.
Always.
Namaste.
This episode of Thinking into Results is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications. PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.